a philosophical toolkit for navigating the void.
Exactly. And it starts with the 13th century German mystic and theologian, Meister Eckhart.
Eckhart brings to the council his core concept of Gelassenheit, which roughly translates to releasement, or profound letting go.
But Eckhart is a radical thinker. He isn't just talking about letting go of a bad habit or a minor grudge.
No, he tells his followers that they must let go even of God to find the true ground of God.
What does that mean practically? How do you let go of God?
He is talking about releasing our concepts of things. When the world breaks, our immediate instinct driven by Gestalt is to grasp tighter.
We try to force reality back into the shape we understood.
We pray desperately for things to go back to normal. Eckhart says this grasping is precisely what blocks us.
So Gelassenheit is the practice of what he calls the unwilling will.
Yes, it is the conscious decision to open your hand. You refuse to demand that the holy or the universe or the memory of your loved one conform to your desires. You just let it be.
By ceasing your frantic attempts to control the narrative of your loss, you create the open, empty space required for a new reality to actually enter. I understand the theory, but I have to challenge Eckhart here.
Okay, challenge away.
Releasement sounds incredibly passive. If I am in the middle of an agonizing grief storm, the pain isn't passive. It's violently aggressive.
That's true.
If I just try to passively release it, I feel like I'm going to get crushed. I need something more active.
And that valid challenge is exactly why the text brings in the second member of the council, the 20th century French philosopher and mystic, Simone Weil.
Simone Weil.
She takes Eckhart's concept of releasement and weaponizes it for the realm of deep trauma. Her concept is not passive at all. She calls it decreation.
Decreation, uncreating yourself.
Yes. Weil argues that when we suffer profound affliction, the human ego's natural defense mechanism is to clench up.
We brace for impact.
We become entirely self-absorbed in our own agony. We build a rigid armor of bitterness and demands around our pain.
So decreation is the active, agonizing, intentional process of unclenching that armor.
She says we must consent to the void. We must actively participate in the unmaking of our clenched self so that divine fullness, or reality as it actually is, has a place to flood in.
Okay, physically, mechanistically, what does decreation look like for the listener?
It looks like this. When the massive wave of grief hits you on a Tuesday afternoon, your Gestalt instinct is to tense your jaw, distract yourself with your phone, and try to block the wave.
Right.
Decreation means you deliberately stop. You sit down. You mentally and physically unclench your muscles. You drop your defenses.
And you just let it hit you.
You allow the pure, unfiltered physical sensation of the sorrow to wash completely through your nervous system without trying to stop it, without judging it, and without trying to fix it.
It is an active surrender.
And it is excruciating. But Weil argues it is the only way to clear the blockage. If you remain full of your own ego's demands for how the universe should be, there is no room for the universe as it actually is to enter you.
That is heavy, and it leads perfectly to a practical question. How do you sustain that posture when you have to get up from the chair and go interact with other people?
Which brings in the third member of the council,
The British philosopher and novelist Iris Murdoch.
She grounds these mystical concepts into our daily behavior through her core tool, which she simply calls attention.
Murdoch has this brilliant phrase where she says, we are constantly blinded by our fat, relentless ego.
The fat, relentless ego, it's so visceral.
She believed that true attention is the ultimate moral discipline and the ultimate discipline of love.
When we are trapped in the calculative mindset, we only look at things to see how we can use them. We look at people to see what they can do for us.
And when we are trapped in grief, we only look at the world through the distorted lens of our own loss. Everything is tinted by our pain.
So how does Murdoch's attention break that?
Attention is the rigorous moral effort to silence that fat, relentless ego so that you can see the real just thing exactly as it is, not as you desperately want it to be.
She calls this unselfing.
Unselfing. I want to give a really mundane example of this to show how powerful it is. Think about looking at your partner across the kitchen island. Usually, you are looking at them through a cloud of self-interest. You're thinking, did they take out the trash? Are they in a good mood so I can ask them a favor?
Right.
They are a fixture in your homely world. You take their existence entirely for granted. That is the fat, relentless ego at work.
Just reducing them to a function in your day.
But to apply Murdoch's attention, you have to deliberately stalk that internal monologue. You look at them and you force yourself to see a distinct, mysterious, profoundly independent human being who is on their own trajectory and who will one day die.
You strip away your utility of them and you just behold them.
And doing that is incredibly difficult because truly attending to reality means attending to its extreme fragility.
It means you have to notice the cracks in everything you love. You have to acknowledge that the bowl will one day break.
But wait, all three of these thinkers, Eckhart, Mill, Murdoch, they are focused on the mind. Releasement, decreation, attention, these are massive cognitive loads.
They are.
What happens when your brain is just spiraling? What happens when the prediction error storm in your neurobiology is so loud that you literally cannot focus your attention?
This is why the fourth and final member of the council is essential. The French phenomenologist Maurice Merleau-Ponty brings us completely out of our heads and back into our physical bodies.
Merleau-Ponty.
He vehemently rejected the idea that humans are just isolated floating minds observing a distant